Hey there, welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today we are talking, get this, we are talking keto-fied McDonald's Big Mac, my friends. You heard me right, that's a keto McDonald's Big Mac. And I'm going to show you how to make one simply with ingredients that you probably have around already, more or less. And I think you're going to love this sandwich. I'm kind of excited about it, so let's get started. Well, now I think pretty much everybody knows what the ingredients are for the Big Mac sandwich. At least everybody of my generation does, because there was a song that people used to know very well. It was on TV and on the radio all the time. And it starts off with, of course, patties of ground beef. The Big Mac these days is really a very small sandwich, as it turns out. I have to admit, I had trouble making patties that were as small as are required for this sandwich. So I had to kind of come up with a way to do that. I used some parchment paper and 2-ounce meatballs of 80/20 ground beef that I flattened and then seasoned with salt and pepper. I'll show you how I did that in just a moment. The thing you may not know how to make for this sandwich, of course, is the special sauce. I'm going to make a bit of it because I think I'm going to want this around. I've got a cup of mayonnaise here. This is 0 carb mayonnaise. Just read the label if you bought it in the grocery store. You'll need a teaspoon of white vinegar, a tablespoon and a half of yellow mustard, a 1/4 cup of chopped dill pickle, or whatever pickle you like, I suppose. I got this recipe, by the way, online from an author who identifies him or herself as Fox Valley Foodie, and they actually use sweet pickle relish, and I've changed it here so that it has fewer carbs. You also want some seasonings. The red color of the McDonald's special sauce comes from paprika. I'm using smoked paprika here, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder. When we assemble the sandwich, we're of course going to need the rest of the elements. You remember the song, 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce. Here I've got 4 slices of sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to use that instead of American cheese because it has carbs. This has no carbs, of course, it's cheese. We've got some slices of dill pickle, some finely chopped white onion, and 2 low-carb sesame buns. Our first order of business is to put this sauce together here. I'm just going to put everything in the same bowl. Make sure we get all of everything in the bowl. Here's our flavorings, the vinegar, our chopped dill pickle, and the mustard. I have a spatula right here. There we go. And I'm just going to combine it with a whisk. To make the patties, I started off with a pound of 80/20 ground beef. I divided it into 8 parts, and here I've got one of those 2-ounce meatballs. Actually, what I did was I weighed them out, and I'm using parchment paper because I find when you spread hamburger out this thinly, if you do it on the plate, it's going to stick to the plate. If you do it in your hand, you're going to have trouble getting this little amount of meat round and in a shape that you want. So I decided to use parchment paper here. This will actually be great to freeze the other ones. I could kind of see making 10 or 12 of these and keeping them on hand if this turns out to be the best keto Big Mac I ever had. If you order a Big Mac these days, you are going to find it is just tiny and the meat is very thin. Anyway, we're going to season that a little bit with some freshly ground black pepper and just a little bit of kosher salt. Only on one side. This is much too thin to season on both sides. So there we go. Onto the stack it goes. And now we're going to cook these up over at the stove. I've been heating my skillet over medium-high heat for about 3 minutes now. I'm just going to fry these up really quick. I'm going to slap them down on my griddle. I'm going to leave it there for a minute so it has a chance to firm up a little bit before I try to remove the parchment. I'm going to do these 2 at a time. I don't want to crowd the pan. I'm not in that big of a hurry. They're going to fry up pretty quickly, actually. There we go. Voila. Of course, you want to give them a flip. Let's see what a nice brown crust we've got on the edges there. That's just what we want. We're going to give this about another 2 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat down to medium, and we'll be ready to put our sandwich together. These are done now, and I'm just going to remove them to a plate with a paper towel to catch some of the grease. And now we're ready to assemble the sandwich. Just a quick note, in tasting this sauce, I noticed that it was a little sour. You might want to add some sweetener to it. Here I added about a half a teaspoon of organic stevia powder to this, and I'll tell you what, now this really tastes almost exactly like that McDonald's sauce, and so I recommend that you add a little bit of sweetener if you use dill pickles like I did. Anyway, let's put the sandwich together, move some things off to the side. The first thing we need to do is prepare the bun. The Big Mac, as you know, is a double-decker sandwich. You need a bun that has 3 parts. Let me show you how we're going to do that. We're just going to take our bun, slice a thin slice as neatly as we can out of the bottom, a nice middle slice, and there we go. It's okay if the bread has holes in it like this, not a problem. We're going to start by putting some of the special sauce down on the bun. I don't want to make too big of a mess, but you know, I believe the last time I had a Big Mac, it was a pretty big mess and it fell apart in my hands. We're going to want a slice of cheese and then a burger. I'm going to add a little more special sauce, a little onion, not a lot, I don't want to overwhelm it because we've got another layer coming up. I'm going to add, my pickles are kind of big, so I'm just going to use 1 pickle, some lettuce, just a little bit, middle layer of bread. Just going to use a little of the special sauce because this sandwich is kind of about the sauce. The cheese, another patty, a little more sauce, you know the story. A little more dill pickle, a little more chopped onion, some shredded lettuce again, and clearly the top bun. And there you pretty much have the Big Mac sandwich. I believe it's time to give this a taste. I think it really looks like a whole lot like the real thing. A little sloppy, maybe. But so good. Wow. You know what? I think this is really almost a dead ringer for the Big Mac. Except maybe that the bun stays together when you eat it. Listen, thanks so much for joining us here today at Tim Talks Cooking. I hope you'll try this recipe. I also hope that you will like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow, and it helps you find my videos, especially if you click on that notifications bell icon. Thanks for joining us again here today at Tim Talks Cooking. We'll catch you next time.